Have you ever been in love? I haven't. Well, at least that's what I tell myself to cope. So this lore takes place back in 8th grade for me. I'm not sure how old I was, 12, 13, either one of the two. Now, I wasn't like this insane Rizzler back in my day, but I had some charm. Unlike nowadays, where the only women I interact with are my mother and my sisters. Not a bad thing, but I think majority of my family thinks I'm a homosexual now. Which isn't the case, by the way. It's just I have no game. Now that I have that out of the way, let's go ahead and break down the story. Yep, I was in 8th grade and I only had a girlfriend for one day. That's a win in my book. But this romance story starts off like any other romance story, I assume. It all started during a class. I have no prior knowledge of this girl, and I'm assuming she has no prior knowledge of me. And all of a sudden, I decide to crack a little joke. I start spitting game, because why not? It wasn't game, I was just blabbering. Now, I don't remember the exact knee slapper I had told her, but she was laughing. Not like super obnoxiously, but a good moderate amount someone would laugh at a joke. And surprisingly, that made her kind of more interested in me. What surprised me is that we just liked each other after one day of communicating. I didn't even know her that well. I'm assuming she didn't know me that well either. Now, the interesting thing is that it took longer for me to muster up the courage and ask her out than it did when we actually started going out, because it lasted one day. While it took me like probably 2 weeks to muster up the courage to ask her. But yeah, it did take me like 2 to 3 weeks to muster up that courage to ask her out. And the only way I found out that she liked me back, which it was blatantly obvious now that I look back on it, was because my friend told me that she did, because she told one of her friends, and that friend told my friend, and he told me. Just some average middle school communicating. My camera just... Yeah, like fast forward 2 to 3 weeks, I finally muster up the courage. I go deep down and just say the words. That's when it started. And also when it ended. Not at that exact moment. I didn't ask her out, and she said yes, and then right after she said, I want to break up. That would have been like so sad. But anyway, I'm pretty sure I asked her in the morning, because then she said she wants to break up at lunch. And I remember it was at lunch because of the 5 words I said after she said, I want to break up. But before that, let me tell you what led up to that. So lunchtime starts, right? And in middle school, when you have a girlfriend, everybody's gonna fucking know, including your friends. And that's the one thing I fucking hated about relationships in any school is like, so people are, except for high school, it's okay. But in middle school, people are so immature that they're like, oh, girl, if you have a girlfriend, oh. Shut the fuck up and let me be. I wasn't embarrassed. It was just annoying. But anyway, like people are kind of forcing us to like hang out and stuff. So we do. We walk around the campus together. We didn't say a single fucking word to each other that whole while we were walking. But during that walk, not a single word said, not a single breath exhaled. Pure silence. I'm pretty sure we did exchange a few words, but very little that I can't even remember. But yeah, we get tired. We sit down somewhere like on these stairs. Yeah, we sit there until like the rest of lunch, and still nothing said. I'm pretty sure. So as we were making our way away from where we were, because the bell rang and everybody's headed to class, she stops while we're walking and turns to me and says, hey, I kinda want to break up. So I was pretty startled. I was just in shock about the words that were said to me, because we spent like 20 minutes together. This whole relationship. But I couldn't say, what? Ew, no, I'm not gonna break up with you. You're gonna stay with me. No, what could I say? I remember what I said, but it was like so stupid. This is what happened. But this is what I said. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I don't really care, but yeah. Yeah, when it came to liking somebody, I was a really shy kid. I think kind of everybody is at first. But I just still can't believe the words I said. The 4 words I said were, I don't really care. Like when I look back on that right now, that was so fucked up. If she heard that, I don't even know if she heard me because how quiet I was. But it was pretty funny. Though she probably doesn't even remember me, let alone those words. Um, and I'm like, I look back on it and I could totally understand the reason she broke up with me. Like we didn't talk that whole lunch period. It was just fucking quiet. Like, yeah, that was good call. That's about it. Short little story. I thought it'd just be funny. I just remembered it. I'm like, yeah, that I had a girlfriend for one day. I lucked out. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks.